We worked in secrecy for about a year, bringing together Israeli conscientious objectors, refuseniks, ex-soldiers, to meet with Palestinians, ex-fighters, ex-prisoners, for dialogue meetings to see if they can share our experience. And once we saw that they can and that they did, and once we saw we have the support needed, we launched our group publicly in a big public event held in a school in the Palestinian village of Anata, just north of Jerusalem, in the presence of more than 500 people, with Palestinian dignitaries and Palestinian politicians, a delegation from the European Union, and there we took a solemn oath. We declared our commitment to struggle non-violently to the end, to bring an end to the occupation, to bring forward the establishment of a Palestinian state alongside Israel, to work towards justice, to work towards peace, and most importantly, to work together and to maintain this dialogue open. Bring this message using our special cultural capital as former combatants, to bring this message everywhere we can to everyone. And one by one, we hope that we can achieve some sort of change here. Namely, because, well, I don't have a lot of faith in governments. I don't have a lot of faith in the political level. I don't think they have nor the willingness or the interest or the courage to bring about any kind of change. But I do believe that if people organize and if people push forward for change, they can make this change happen. They can force governments and political level to see the reality as it is on the ground and create change. And this is what we're trying to do. And in a way, this is why we come here to talk to you. Because, well, we realize very clearly that we can't do it alone. We need the help of the world, and namely we need the help of the United States. And the help from the United States will not come as long as there isn't a strong organization here that will push forward for that. As long as representatives are too scared to say anything meaningful, they won't say anything. As long as our representatives don't believe that they will get any kind of support or green light from over here, our representative will not say anything meaningful either. And this is why we need your help. And this is why we come here to talk to you. Because you hear a lot of nonsense about this conflict and what goes on there. People are not ready, people are not willing, the hate is this, the hate is that, the time is not right. Well, you hear us now and you can, well, believe us or not, but if you do, you should know that all this is nonsense. And anyone who's saying that is either a liar or an ignorant. Because we are ready, and things are right, and the time, it's not that the time is here, the time is long gone. And every person that dies in this conflict dies in vain. It's a useless, stupid death that could have been avoided. And the only question that stands before us right now is the question of time. Namely, how many people will die before we get organized and bring about a real change we need. Thank you.
I just want to tell you two short stories of what happened to me that led, in a way, to this change that brought me eventually to decide to refuse and not to continue to serve in the Air Force. One of them was what was started around the Second Intifada in 2000. It was called targeted elimination, which is an Orwellian name for assassination from the sky. The Israeli Air Force was doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis, just like today, missions that their goal was to kill suspects, to kill Palestinian suspects. It started by shooting from the sky, from helicopters or from fighter planes or from drones, unmanned aircraft, a car or person that is somewhere out of the city, far from on that populated area. Later on, the missions became more and more close to the cities. And if at the beginning they would send missiles on a car when it's outside of the town, eventually the missions were targeting cars with Palestinian suspects that were in the middle of Gaza. As you know, Gaza, for example, is the most heavily populated place in the world. And the result, as you can imagine, was that most of the people that died were innocents. Most of the people that died were children, women, old people that had nothing to do with any kind of activities against Israel. Even the suspects that were killed or maimed or injured in these attacks were suspects, and there was no any court system that would decided if they are deserve to be captured, killed, or whatever. In Israel, in the official Israel, there is no death penalty, no court except Nazi criminals. Happened once in the history of the state of Israel. No death penalty. But in that case of this assassination policy, the kitchen cabinet, a small group of people in the government and generals in the army could just come, sit around the table and bring a list and decide, okay, this guy will be assassinated tomorrow. You will send a few helicopters to assassinate him. And the next day another meeting. And for a while that was the only policy. In 2005, I think it was a few weeks or months after Obama was elected senator from Illinois, and I was in a delegation meeting staffers and Congress members in the Capitol Hill with a Jewish organization, a Jewish anti-occupation organization that brought me here. In that meeting, Obama was not present, but all his staffers were there. We had a big group, and we sat in his office and talked for a long time. I shared my personal stories and my opinions and told them a lot of specific information and basically what we want them to do as you know, members of the group of people who in a way influence what's going on in the Middle East. The answer of these guys that were pretty not they were very fresh in their job. They just started some weeks before. Their honest answer was that they agree with every word I said, but before Obama votes in the Senate, they have to call AIPAC. Without continuous pressure, strong pressure, Obama will continue to make this phone call to AIPAC. His first speech after he was elected Democratic nominee to this elections was in AIPAC, promising that he will build the American embassy not building the American embassy, but Jerusalem will be united forever. And the meaning of Jerusalem united forever is war forever.
AIPAC is not pro-Israeli. AIPAC is pro a very specific ideology in Israel, but is not pro-Israeli. The second thing, AIPAC is by no means and in no way representative of the Jewish community in the United States. And the role that they took upon themselves is something that was never questioned, but is no less than criminal. The main thing is this aspect of cooperation and networking to work and try and constitute a counterbalance to AIPAC, who are by no means representatives. And whenever they speak up, they should be reminded of that they have a handful of members that do not represent the position, by and large, of the Jewish community.